Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I would like to give special thanks to our cousins who traveled from Ireland to share in this special time with us. We are gathered here today to remember, celebrate, and present our beloved mother and Nana to God. For those who don't know me, I'm Connolly, Mom's favorite and only son. Evelyn was born on November 26, 1928, in Nova Scotia, Canada, and left us on October 30th, 2024, at the age of 95. Evelyn grew up on rural Cape Breton Island, and she was known for her determination, hard work, and adventurous spirit. Mom attended St. Martha's School of Nursing, graduated in 1950, and moved to Toronto, Canada, where she pursued a career as a flight attendant for Trans-Canada Airlines, and then had a career as a registered nurse well into her 70s. What stood out most about Mom was her servant's heart. Mom had a wonderful way of caring for the sick, as well as for nurturing her own family of 7, including Dad and the 5 children. I remember many Saturday mornings as a child when some of us kids would go with Mom to visit elderly patients at their homes so Mom could bring them food, medicine, administer shots, and just visit them. Of course, we stopped at Winchell's Donuts on the way home. Mom and Dad met in Toronto, Canada, and married there in 1953. For their honeymoon, they flew to Los Angeles, California, and stayed with Dad's uncle, Reverend Tom O'Toole, in the rectory at St. Ambrose's Catholic Church in Hollywood. I think I may have neglected to say that they were frugal when necessary. California obviously made an impression on them because after the birth of their first 2 daughters, Karen and Helene, in Toronto, they packed up their car and moved to Southern California. The next 3 of us, Maura, me, and Patsy, were born in California. In 1971, the family moved into our home in Downey, California, where Mom lived for almost 50 years. Our beloved father passed away in 1984, and our loving and sweet sister Helene passed away last month. Though Mom was a career nurse, her passion was being a wife and mother. Mom loved God and her family. She was a great role model to us. We knew we were blessed to have her as our mom. There was nothing she loved more than to be with her children and grandchildren. Mom always put her children in a position to prosper, whether it was where we lived, where we went to school, or the friends that we kept. She was tough, fair, and hardworking. She spent several years working either the 2nd or 3rd shifts as an RN, so she'd be home when we needed her, and so she could help support our large family financially. Mom and Dad were married for 31 years when God called Dad home at the young age of 56. But the exposure we had to their commitment to each other has been passed through the generations. When we count the number of marriages in our immediate family from Mom and Dad to today, our family record is marriages 12, divorces 0, a true testament to Mom and Dad. When I reflect on my childhood and how we were raised, I recall a couple of stories. When I was a teenager, I remember I would tell Mom that I was going to the movies. Her response would be, "Get me the tidings, let me see what they say about that movie." My choice in movies changed often. I also remember telling Mom, "I'm going out with friends." She would reply, "Don't waste any time with her if you don't see spending your life with her." I thank Mom for her wisdom. Mom's impact on us and our friends was profound. She taught us about being supportive, dedicated, committed, hardworking, passionate, caring, and Christ-like in our actions. As we say goodbye to Mom, let's remember how she treated others. Her legacy will live on because of her servant's heart, and for that I am grateful. Mom, Nana, Evelyn, we love you. You will be deeply missed, but never forgotten. Your love, your laughter, and your spirit will forever be part of us. Rest in peace. One more thing. Mom always left notes on the dinner table. I took the liberty to help her write her final note. "Hey kids, God called." "Hey kids, God called. I'm heading up to see Dad. I'm so excited to give Dad a big hug, and I'll give one from you as well. I will share all the great family news of years past. We'll grab Helene and on our way to get Tony and baby Hayes. I've heard so much about baby Hayes, I can't wait to hold him. We'll be heading to the best Connolly Merino picnic ever. It's going to be beautiful and bountiful. We'll be waiting for you. Love, Mom.
Good morning. My name is Rebecca, and this is my cousin Jessica. We are the oldest granddaughters of Evelyn Connolly, or Nana, as we all affectionately called her all of our lives. Actually, the correct term for our Nana is the Nana. I'm not sure the origins of her being called the Nana, but from what I've heard, it's a self-appointed title. This shows us how very much she loved being our Nana, and how important it was to her, and we all felt it. The in the Nana is actually a very important detail, as it distinguished her and it set her apart. It described her as one of a kind, elevated her in a monarchical sort of way. She was just that to us too, a queen, our queen, and the matriarch of our family. We have many pictures of Nana's birthday celebrations with a crown on her head. And if there was anyone who deserved to wear a crown, it was our Nana.
Nana has 11 grandchildren, 12 great-grandchildren, and 1 great-great-grandchild coming in the spring. We all have the most special memories of her home, her funny sayings, her sense of humor, and her hugs and her smile. She was courageous, smart, faith-filled, and loving woman. She was a fighter, and she was tough. She was also gentle and compassionate. We compiled a handful of standout memories from our cousins in an effort to celebrate our Nana and to share with you how deeply she impacted each of us. There are a few things I remember Nana cooking. Poached eggs, rutabaga, mashed potatoes, and her brown sugar fudge are the standouts. Maybe that's why most of the overnight visits conjure up memories of going to Foxy's for breakfast or some of the older grandkids. Countless laps in the pool over decades of visits. Many of us learned how to swim in that pool, including Joshua and Jaden. Being the oldest grandchild, I'm the one that had the longest amount of time to be able to spend with her. Nana was there for so many moments. As a child, I got to spend the night, even though she said I slept like a wild animal and would roll up a newspaper to bring to bed, and threatened to use it if I kicked her in the night. I'll never know if she did, because I always slept through the night. As a teenager, when my other Nana, Nana Olive, who was also a nurse, was placed on hospice, Nana offered her home, and we all stayed at her house, and she helped to care for her that one final night. When my son was born in August of '98, Nana was so excited to tell us that she had heard that they could take a picture of someone and add it to another picture. She came over that day, and we took a picture on the porch with my mom and me holding Alec. She came back weeks later, very proudly, with a very early attempt at Photoshop. The mere mention of this photo would send my mom and I into fits of giggles. That's funny as a floating head, so Photoshop has come a long way. About 10 months later, I got to travel with my mom and my son to visit Nana and Granny in Canada, and we were able to get a real 5-generation picture. As an adult, I got to spend lots of time with her as she began to need more help with driving and things around the house. I would go to her house and we would hang out, maybe plant some pansies in the yard, or add some new white rocks to the planter. And she would say that she needed to go to Nordstrom. I'd ask what she needed, and she'd say, I don't know, I'll figure it out when I see it. Here are some of the memories from our cousins. Jake reminded us of a funny story. We all loved to swim in Nana's pool. One summer, Tyler, Connor, and Hannah were swimming, and Connor was underwater near the pool light. Suddenly he felt a tingle in his braces, to which he informed his brother and sister, hey, Luckily, everyone got out of the pool in time, so we still have a laugh about that memory to this day. Billy remembers getting free samples at Sam's Club with Nana while Nana was living with them. Nana loved to eat. She also remembers walking in the canals at Naples and how much Nana would enjoy seeing the water and the houses. Billy remembers how much Nana enjoyed the beach. Even as she got older and her memory faded, the beach was always her happy place. Billy remembers that Nana would always give her orange juice in those tiny little glasses from Granny's house. Sean remembers Nana had a pair of tennis shoes that he and Nana would always joke were gangster shoes because they had skulls and roses on them. Luke mentioned that every time they got in the car together and they would pass a certain restaurant that rhymes with scooters and has an owl in the logo, Nana would make sure that Luke noticed that they were passing it. When Jake was a little boy, he hurt his leg and he wasn't sure how to limp, so he asked Nana, "How do you limp, Nana?" And Nana would always laugh at that. We all remember her piano and the pictures that covered it.
Hannah remembers looking for the green rock by the steps at Nana's house, playing basketball, and how the water used to collect by the pool on the cement, and it was so warm that the grandkids would lay in the puddles. She also remembers running into the sliding glass door at Nana's house when she was young. I think it broke. And when Nana spoke to the insurance company about getting it fixed, they told her to sue Hannah. Tyler remembers watching Judge Judy, one of the courtroom shows with Nana and her amazing commentary. He remembers Billy, we all remember Billy, climbing on the rocks in her front yard, the Celtic music she played on her stereo, the walks to See's Candy and Burger King, her fish fillet sandwich that smelled terrible, Stonewood mall trips to get that new purse, Waterford crystal Christmas ornaments, the Chargers cups, breakfast at Foxy's. Nana always came to Grandparents' Day at school and all of his sports, Tyler, Connor, and Hannah. Tyler ended his memory by saying, "Other kids may have called their grandma Nana, but we had the Nana." TJ remembers all the times he took Nana to the train station with our mom. Nana would visit often and she loved to ride the train and sit on the west side so she could stare at the ocean during the trip. He also remembers all of the games of football in Nana's front yard during the holidays. Connor is grateful to have had the chance to live with Nana for 6 months in 2013 to 2014 during her healthier years as he was settled in California. He said, "We all have our childhood memories at her house, but his time with her as an adult is something he'll always cherish." After 24 years of calling her Nana, he started to call her Rumi, and she'd always give him the same look and laugh when he would say that. He would try to spend quality time with her when she was relaxing in her chair and watch Judge Judy, but he couldn't get into it. She eventually roped him into watching The Bachelor, and later, after moving out and getting married, Connor and his wife Nicole ended up bonding with their best friends when they first met them over that show, The Bachelor. To this day, they still watch it as a group, but deep down it reminds him of those Monday nights at Nana's house, where he'd watch that crazy show and listen to her unforgettable commentary. I have so many memories of Nana, it's hard to put them into words. Nana was a nurse, as we've shared, and she worked well into her late 70s. Even when she entered Artesia Christian Home and her memory was starting to fade, her nursing instincts were still very strong. So strong, in fact, that her very kind and compassionate caregivers would allow Nana to play nurse and to help care for the other residents. I was so honored to have Nana pin me at my college graduation when I became a nurse. I remember how happy and proud she was that day. I remember the feeling of elation being on stage with her, and the tears in both of our eyes when she put the pin on my sash. Nana wasn't one to outwardly display her emotions, so when I saw her eyes glistening, I was so touched that this moment meant so much to her, that it even meant more to me. Nursing is a calling, and I saw this calling displayed so strongly in Nana, in the way she cared for her grandkids, the way she cared for her children, the way she cared for her mom, our Granny, especially in Granny's last days, when she passed away at home at the age of 109, with Nana by her side in their hometown of Nova Scotia, Canada. I'm so grateful that during Nana's last several years, as her memory faded and her body slowed down, we could all care for her in the way she cared for each of us. She was a spitfire, so funny, so witty, so remarkably strong, so authentically herself. I've never met anyone like her. I'm honored to be her granddaughter. I love you, Nana. I'll miss you forever.
It's hard to imagine that for all the mundane and special moments to come, that she won't be there. We won't be able to see her, but we know that she'll be there with spirit and in our memory. We'd like to end with an Irish blessing to honor Nana's beloved husband and our Papa, who she's now at peace with. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you with the palm of his